As the Birmingham bin strikes enter their second year and the city's international reputation lies in tatters, with images that have gone around the world of rat infestations and bin bags piled as far as the eye can see, the Unite Union has announced it has no intention of stopping the strikes anytime soon, unless the Labour Council give in, which they show no sign of doing. Now, some residents have gone up to 3 months without a bin collection. They've been telling local media that the streets are still filthy. Now, what's interesting also about this is that it's the Labour Council against Unite the Union. And one of the organisers at Unite yesterday said that this bin strike could spell the very end for Labour in the city. So here to discuss all of these developments is Conservative councillor in Birmingham, Richard Parkin. Richard, great to see you again. You've worked with us over the last year talking about the issue of the bin strikes in Birmingham. They're now back in focus because we're almost a year into them. I mean, a year has passed since the very first strike. What's the state of play here? It feels almost as if the council's got nowhere to go. The Unite yesterday said that they're determined to continue these strikes for as long as it takes. But the Labour, it's not like the Labour Council really has the money to just give in.
No, thanks, Nick. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. We're now in the second year of the bin strikes. I mean, just think about that. It's been over 12 months of bin strikes. And residents are beleaguered, worn out, drained, fed up, frustrated and angry. And I completely understand that. I mean, as a local councillor, I dread Tuesdays because Tuesday is bin collection day in my ward, and invariably I'll get a list of roads, schools, businesses that haven't had their bins collected. This has been going on for over a year now, and at the moment, unfortunately, there doesn't look like there's going to be an end in sight. I mean, I think one of the big problems is that neither side are talking to each other now. I think in any dispute, both sides have got to continue discussions and negotiations. The fact that Birmingham City Council are no longer talking to the union is not going to resolve the problem. They can't keep ignoring it. It won't go away. They need to sit down around the table with the union and they need to thrash out a deal, because otherwise we could be talking in 12 months' time again, going into another year of the bin strikes.
Well, that's it. It's almost, how long can this really go on for? And now you've got tired, angry residents, some of which are calling for a council tax strike to stop paying their council tax, because as far as they see it, we're not getting what we pay for. What does that say about the situation?
Exactly. I mean, emptying bins is the most basic of council services. It's how everybody across the country will judge how well is our council doing. Getting your bins emptied once a week is not a lot to ask for, is it? So I can understand why residents, or some residents, are reaching the point where they don't feel obliged to pay their council tax. Obviously, as a councillor, I would never endorse that, because that's not something that I would support, whilst I appreciate and understand why people are so angry and fed up about it. But the other thing we need to also bear in mind is the cost of this strike. I mean, the estimates are that up to the end of this March, if the strike continues, it will cost the council nearly £15 million in street cleaning, security costs, additional support. They've lost £4.5 million in garden waste services. So there's been no garden waste collection services for 12 months, and they haven't started this year's subscription. They've lost over £4.2 million in bulky waste collections, and £10 million in costs for delays in the new bin service that would apparently deliver savings. So there's a financial cost to this as well, and it's got to be sorted. The unions and the council have got to get around the table and reach a deal.
And when the strike first kicked off, the national media all came to Birmingham. The story went around the world of the filthy streets and just the hazards that residents were having to put up with. Then the media went away, but this strike, as we've been talking about, is still going on. What is the situation here? I've read from Birmingham Live, people talking to the journalists there saying that their streets are filthy. What are you seeing on the ground?
Yeah, I've got to admit, the pattern is mixed. I mean, my ward, Sutton Reddycap, Sutton Coldfield, is not too bad. I think we do have missed collections. I do have problems every week with roads that are missed. I have to keep hounding the council to come back and collect them. I have situations where the local schools haven't been collected for 3 or 4 weeks. Last week, there was a flats in my ward that hadn't had a collection, residents say, for 3 months. And the photographs of the rubbish was appalling. But by and large, a lot of the area here is not so bad. But if you drive further into inner city Birmingham, it's absolutely appalling. And you'll have seen some of the videos online and on social media, just how dreadful it is. And the problem is, the more publicity that goes out on this, the more damage gives to Birmingham's reputation. So, around the world now, Birmingham is associated with rats as big as cats, and the damage to our international reputation is what worries me the most, because that's going to take some time to recover. And while the strike continues, that's still a big problem.
Well, that's it. Birmingham was on the up. You had the Commonwealth Games, you had the regeneration of Digbeth, you had the new tram lines, the success of your universities. But now, as you say, international exposure, the people may be looking at going to the University of Birmingham might look and think twice. I think that's such a shame.
I'm a proud Brummie. I think a fourth generation Birmingham person. My family go back to 100 years in this city, and I am despondent and in despair of what the damage this is doing to our city. I think we can recover from this. Brummies are, optimistic, hard-working people, and we will get over it. But it is going to take a while, and the bin strike has got to end, because the longer it goes on, the more challenging it's going to be for us to get this reputation back. We're competing with other cities around, not just nationally, but around the world for these events, as you rightly point out. We're getting extremely fed up, and basically the long and short of it is the only way I can see around this at the moment is that the local elections are coming up in May, and you would expect me to say this anyway, but as local Conservatives we want to roll our sleeves up and get stuck in and deliver the change that Birmingham desperately needs.
It seems like you might have a good choice, a good chance. Claire Peden, the organiser at Unite, and this is, these are people that have always been associated with Labour. She said, "I think the council should take a little bit of notice here, as it's passing the stage of no return for Labour in this city." That's crazy, isn't it? That's unprecedented.
Yeah, I mean, the dispute really is between the Unite Union and Labour councillors, many of whom are in the Unite Union. So it's almost like a fallout between the unions and the Labour Party. And, it's a strange way it's developed, in that, a lot of the comments that the union have come out with, particularly relating to urging the council to get round the table, I would completely endorse and support. The first bin strike, of course, we must remember, was in 2017. And the equal pay dispute and all the problems that have caused this dispute relate to Labour's handling of that bin strike all those years ago. And one of the quick points I'd make, if you don't mind, Nick, is that when you talk about people withholding payment for their council tax, one thing that I would like the council to consider is offering residents a rebate. In 2018, the Conservatives in Birmingham came forward with that proposal after the 2017 strike, and it was rejected by the council. But I think the longer this goes on, I think residents are perfectly entitled to ask the question, we need a rebate. We're paying our council tax bills here, and we're not getting the basic service that we're expecting.
Yeah, wow. When we originally came and met you, and you showed us the work of your litter group in Sutton Coldfield, and we went around the rest of Birmingham having a look at the state of it, really. You spoke to Robert Jenrick, and since then he's left your party and he's moved to Reform. And I just wondered, we've had the reaction from the National Party, but he was very clear in his speech that his issue was with the Parliamentary Party rather than the councillors and members across the country. And I just wondered, from a councillor, what your reaction to that was.
Okay, my honest reaction to that is I've met Robert Jenrick, as you say, once, and he was brilliant in coming here and helping out with our local litter action group and raising the profile of the issues that we're facing here in Birmingham. I think it's a shame he left, to be honest. I think he's a good guy, and I think he had a lot of support within the party. At the end of the day, it was his decision. I think the one thing I would say, and I'm relatively new being a councillor, I've been a councillor for just coming up to 4 years. Locally, the Conservatives around the country, and here in Sutton Coldfield in particular, are an extremely strong, unified body. We've got a lot of people who work tirelessly in our local communities. The association here in Sutton Coldfield has been going for years and years and years, and there is a real sense of camaraderie and loyalty, and we will continue as local Conservatives to fight for the seats in Birmingham City Council, because the only way we're going to deliver change is if we have a local Conservatives running the council. We've got a lot of very experienced councillors here in Birmingham, over 20 Conservative councillors, and genuinely, just as a layman as much as anything else, I think that we offer the best chance for the people of Birmingham in May.
Okay, Richard, thank you so much.